I do like to see the companion cast bar, so I'm going to keep that docked right on top of his portrait. I'm going to scale it down a little bit to be able to see it a little bit better, but not too small. I'll make that scaled up just a little bit, make it easier to see. And we'll save that. Again, you got to enable all these. Again, you can flip these horizontally if you want. Oddly enough, you can't flip the companion bar horizontally, but you can flip their cast bar horizontally. So save that. Target of target. This is going to be a favorite, I think, for a lot of people. I think I'm going to put my target of target right next to my target frame and make that easier. Now there is also a target of target cast bar. My target of target is going to get scaled down. I don't need it real huge, because I need more UI room for my party frames that I'm going to put there. So I'm going to move that down. But I do like to have the cast bar quite a bit bigger. And I, again, got to click those to enable them. You'll notice that they turn yellow if they're enabled, and that if they're not enabled, they're red. Okay, so that's one thing you can do there to help out. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and show effects on the bottom. That'll further differentiate it for me from the actual target portrait here. It says it's flipped horizontally. I'll leave it on, and I'll show information text. Alpha, I'm going to leave it 100%. Target cast bar, I'm going to bump that puppy up. I like to see it. So it's going over here, and it's going to have a nice big cast bar. And again, I'm going to have it enabled. I'm going to have it flipped horizontally, and I'll experiment with that, see how I like it. We'll save that. Let's move on to our operations frames. You'll see that's over here on the left, and you've got party frame 3 and 2 and 1. You also have party target frame 1, so you can see who in your party is targeting what monster or baddie. This is going to be really great for tanks to be able to tell I'm targeting, boss X, and so that'll help with the people who are doing DPS and healing to be able to know which person to target, which person they should not target, or it'll let us know if we've got aggro, that kind of thing. I think that'll be extraordinarily helpful. I like to have my party members as close to my target bar, particularly as a seer sage, not so much as a shadow, because it's not as big a deal there. So I'm going to move all of these down. First of all, I think I'm going to move my mini-map up and get that out of the way, because I'm going to need that space down at the bottom. Tutorials, I'm going to move up a little bit. I'm going to leave them on the right, leave them tiny. In fact, I scale them down a little bit, I think. The map I like to have big, so I'm going to leave that one scaled up to 1.25. You can flip it vertically, so that if you like to have it at the very top and you like to have all the goodies at the top, you've got it there. In fact, I kind of like that setup, so I'm going to leave it like that. The large tooltip, boy, I really don't need a huge tooltip. I kind of know them. You can attach it to the minimap, or you can move it down below. I think I'll just set it right there. It says grow up. Only affects unlocked tooltip. I think I'll leave it attached to the minimap. Again, it's enabled. It's scaled down just a hair. Alpha is 100%. My map is scaled up. It's flipped vertically to make it a little easier. I'm going to set it right below the tutorials. Those are set down. That's also enabled. I still like to have the tutorials, even if I don't use them very often. The mission tracker I've left scaled at 1. I noticed that when they redid the UI, they also shrank the font size a little bit. I could scale it up to 1.05 to bring it closer to what it was before to make it a little easier to see. You can also flip it vertically if you like. So you have your missions at the bottom. I think I'm going to leave it at the top. I don't use my mission tracker a lot, so I need the real estate at the bottom of my screen for the things that I focus on. So I'm going to leave my mission tracker there and leave my map there, leave the tutorial right where it was. Life is good. Height, it says 500. You could actually shrink that down if you want so that you've got even more real estate. But I think I'll leave it at its 500 just to have the nice real estate there to track multiple quests. Since I want the bottom right for my operations frames, I'm going to go ahead and move my space combat missiles over to the left and put it over by my space combat portrait. I just kind of get it out of the way, since I don't use that a lot. Some people do. Social notifications, they're going to hang out there too. I don't, need a social notification a whole lot because I'm usually chatting with my friends anyway. The holocom, that's going to go over here too. It's not going to be used very often, so it can stay docked over here as needed. May even put it down here, so get it out of the way. The main thing is that I want to be able to access it in a mission, so we're going to make it over there. Focus target and focus target cast bar are at the top. I'm actually going to move these down here and scale them down because I need that extra space. I can't see the top of my screen real well when I'm looking straight ahead, so that's just a problem that I have that's unique to me, so I'm going to work around it and put my focus target there, scale it down a little bit, and I'm going to move that cast bar, dock it right there, nice and handy, and going to keep both enabled. Now, this let's move our operations frames. That is going to go down there. Groups visible, number is 6. Groups per row, 3. We can make that groups per row 6. Groups visible, 6. Health width is 102 and health height is 4. I really want the health height, particularly for my seer, to be a little bit higher. Kind of running out of real estate room here already, so I'm going to have to scale it down a little bit, or bring my enemy bar up, unless I want them to clip. So, but I want those as close as I can. And I do want to show health text. I think that's kind of handy to have. Party frame 3. I'm going to put that down at the bottom. I like the third party member to be at the bottom. That's just me. I'm going to scale it way down. I don't need it real big. I just need it there so I can find it to click on it. Party frame 2 is going to go in the same spot. We're going to scale that down also. And we'll just make these a little tinier to make them all fit. It's taking a little time to mess around and get this set up the way you want. Alright. Yep. Let's put 1 on top of 2, just for sanity's sake. And we'll scale down 2. Alright. That way they're nice and close to each other. Very handy to the hot bars to reach everything more easily. Now let's put target party target frame 3. Let's enable that. We know it's enabled because it's turned yellow. Show information text. Party frame 1 is going to go up by 1. I'm going to enable that. Show information text. And then we're going to do the same thing for this guy here. You may have to experiment with sizing on these to see which one works best for you, because the effects are going to show on these target frames also. You may not be able to see them if they're too small. So I'm going to scale it down just a hair more. This is probably going to be more important for our raid leaders, to kind of keep an eye on who's attacking what monster and when. So I think it's going to be more salient for them to know what's happening with what their raid members are doing. But for right now, we'll have them enabled so we can see what's going on with our monsters. I'm going to pop this focus target cast bar up just a little bit. Move the focus target up just so it's out of the way of the operation frames. So, alright.